Hello, welcome everybody. It's William. I'm so excited to announce that I'm going to start a new series called iOS Dev and app development. And basically, it's just sort of an intro to intermediate course. Yeah, totally for free. I'm going to share it on YouTube about how to use our Swift language as well as Swift UI and yeah, and of course some of the backend knowledge to develop actual apps for App Store that you can learn the skill and you can tweak it and then you can yeah, make your own app and upload it to App Store. And for those of you guys who just yeah, stumble upon my channel, my name is William, and this channel share everything about coding. So it's called Coding with William Jamming. And I also got a website called Learn It Free with hyphen connected, and I'm going to share all the code as well as all the notes about my tutorials, and I'm going to show that at that website for free. And well, to be honest, right now I'm currently unemployed. So the YouTube would be the only revenue that I will get. So, but right now I didn't receive any of the money because I haven't reached that monetization hurdle yet. So the best way to support me and encourage me to make more videos is to subscribe to the channel, help me to reach that goal, and give this video a thumb up. Okay. So thank you so much for your support, and without further ado, let's get started. So yeah. By the way, this is the illustration that I draw myself, okay, using Procreate. I also got a Learn Digital channel that share with all this learning process that and how I draw all this thumbnail. Okay, so if you're interested, you can subscribe to that channel as well. Okay, and yeah, let's get to it. So basically, we're going to use Xcode to develop app, and let's give you a brief introduction. Okay, so I think it's fairly good time to just close everything. And when you open Xcode, you can click File and New, and you're going to create a new project. Okay, so then because they're going to learn iOS development, so you can choose iOS. Of course, as the tutorial progressed, I might even show you guys how to do multi-platform, but all in the Apple's platform. It's not that cross-platform from Apple to say Android and yeah, all sort of other platform, but just everything produced by Apple. For example, the iOS and macOS can yeah, can sort of share a lot of the code, and tvOS and watchOS is a little bit different system. So most of the time I make apps, I share iOS and macOS version, and yeah, it can really improve the development process, especially if you use Swift UI. Okay, so I think this is it's an intro to intermediate course. So yeah, I'm going to just use iOS, and as we progress, maybe at the middle section or the end section, I'm going to use this iOS and macOS, this cross-platform technique. And by the way, if you are not familiar with Swift programming language, my recommendation is that you will go to my another tutorial called Learn Swift the Hard Way. Let me show you guys. Here, I got a yeah, this is a total playlist for Swift, and yeah, so if you go through that at least beginning to the middle section of the Swift programming language, and then you are good to go. Okay, so let's just create an app and click next. Okay, and here is the screen that's really important, because you're going to choose yeah, you choose the right settings, and sometimes you might wonder whether you have to choose the exact settings as I choose. My recommendation is that if you're a beginner, yes, you have to. even though programming can use a lot of way to achieve a certain problem. But my recommendation is using the exact version as well as the exact settings as I demonstrate, because yeah, you might encounter some of the issues that is version cost or your or certain setting cost. So you might just write the exact same code, but my code will run, but your code won't run. That's pretty normal in web developing. So my recommendation is that use exact settings in order to avoid these issues. Okay, so we got product name. Let's just say this will be a intro. Okay, so this the intro project, but it's not recommended to add this dot to it, so I'm going to use underline one intro app or my first app. Let me just say my first app. First app, okay, and the team, you can choose whatever team you are, especially if you already joined the Apple development program. My recommendation is that if you learn just learn to develop, you don't need to spend, I think right now it's $99 per year. That program will give you a special sort of a digital signature that you can upload and sign your product, and in order to actually upload that to YouTube, not YouTube, sorry, about to App Store. So you don't need that right now. You can just choose none, and of course organization identifier. This will be your website most of the time. So I got a website called williamjamin.com. I'm going to use that. Remember, it's go everything in reverse, so you got a com.williamjamin, just automatically fill that out for you. If you got a name called Tom, something like that, you can just use Tom. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, and of course they will automatically generate a bundle identifier. This will be unique in the world, at least in App Store, because you don't want to get confused with other people's product. Okay, so right now I'm going to use William Jamin. Okay, and then it will just automatically generate a bundle identifier com.williamjamin.myfirstapp, and then interface will be Swift UI. In my older tutorial, I cover storyboard, but I think Swift UI is the trend, is the future, and it's strongly recommended by Apple. So I'm going to use the Swift UI, and once you switch to Swift UI, you can easily sort of migrate your code and to make it suit for multiple platform, and I think that's a great feature. And once you get hand of it, you can develop fairly quickly. Okay, so I'm going to use the Swift UI as interface. Language, of course, is Swift. Previously, you can choose Objective-C. Of course, you can use part of the Objective-C code in your program, but you can't choose Objective-C for the programming language. So let's just stick with Swift. And the storage, you can use Swift data or core data. Okay, so the Swift data is just a newer version of core data that can like wrapped around a lot of complex thing that you can just finish that with one code. It's got a special syntax for it, but right now, since it's our first app, you need to worry about storage system. You can just choose none. This can quick the initialization process, so you won't wait a lot of time when you actually praise your project. Okay, so you can choose none, and of course we would introduce core data as well as Swift data, but Swift data is the is the recommended way, because Apple just bring out that Swift data recently, at least when I record this video. If you watch this video a few years from now, you may just delete the core data section, and you can only choose Swift data. But don't worry, if that happens, I will upgrade and update my tutorial, so you will see a explanatory videos just right behind this video, of course. Perhaps, I don't know, maybe Apple won't change it, and that all depends on Apple, because I'm a developer, I'm not a personnel from Apple, so I can't say that for sure. Okay, so you don't need to include tasks because it's a fairly simple demonstration. So it's not a really complex big project, so you might just ignore that. Okay, so then you can choose next. Alright, so once you click next, you are going to set the path or route path for your project. So I already got tons of projects, so I just dump all that into old, and I'm going to make you guys a new tutorial for that. And so I'm going to create a new folder, and that will be new tutorials. Okay, and inside of it I'm going to create a folder called one first app. Okay, and then let's create it. So first app, you can create a Git repository on my Mac, and of course you can just ignore that because it's just fairly simple demonstration. You don't need every step of the way for Git to track the version. By the way, if you don't know Git is just a quick way to track the version of your product. So if you added that multiple times and you want to track it, you want to sort of roll back to the previous version. If you break something, you can use Git to track it. Of course, you can do that. You can just ignore that. It doesn't matter because it's just a simple product. So let me just click it, okay? Because I'm going to upload to YouTube. This is YouTube GitHub. Sorry about that. And by the way, the GitHub is a great way to store your code, okay? And if you're interested, I might just record a video about the GitHub. By the way, my GitHub is called github.com/WillingJamming, just my name, and you can find all the projects and source code to it. And I will link all this source code at my website learningfree.com with hyphen. Okay, so yeah, and once you open that, you can get a fairly simple project. So on the left side is just some hierarchies. So we got my first app, and we got this my first app.swift, okay, and we got this content view. Most of the time we're just using this to generate the content view. And the great thing about Xcode is that you can actually see all these changes live. So at the right side you can get a preview, and it looks great. Okay, so we get this global icon and hello world, and you can also choose different iPhone, iPad, just a different aspect ratio for your project, and it looks pretty great. And it was sort of you can just change the size as well as the layout automatically. That's so much better than using storyboard, because if you use storyboard for the first time and you click and drag it, and it can get pretty complex and frustrating and a little bit buggy, because you got a lot of constraints. The constraint can conflict, and yeah, it's a great mess if you learn that for the first time. So that's the reason I just skip storyboards entirely. Don't worry, you can integrate storyboard with the latest Swift UI. You can migrate the storyboard project to Swift UI, so don't you worry about that. But I think Swift UI is the future. Apple thinks it's the future. They strongly recommend it. If you want to develop app for Apple, just follow whatever Apple recommends. Okay, so for example, if you want to change that to iPhone 15 or I don't know, iPad, you can just automatically change the layout. That's a great thing about Xcode. And of course, if you want to preview, live preview, it might just take a little bit of time. But by the way, what is live preview? So the live preview is that when you change some of the code here, you don't need to run the simulator, because if you run the simulator, you run the whole app, you will just bring out another window, and that will be a simulation of your iPhone or Apple Watch or Apple TV, and that is pretty CPU and RAM consuming. because you actually run a live phone here. But if you just want to worry about the layout, you don't need to worry about all this logic behind it. You can just use a live preview, and you can just see that change live without actually simulating everything. Okay, so this is like a quick peek at whatever you have changed. Okay, so it's really great and really intuitive way of doing it. And as you can see, as I'm babbling about the simulation, you just change that to your iPad, and of course you can change that back. I'm going to use the latest Apple 15 version Pro here, and of course you can get more versions of it. So for example, you get a iPhone 14 Plus. You get the specific version of iPhone that want to develop that and test that on your physical phone. You can use that as well. Okay, so my recommendation is that you don't need the highest top end phone. You don't need that latest version of iPhone in order to do the developing. Sometimes you just need a MacBook and upgrade that to the latest version, and upgrade Xcode to the latest version, and you can start developing. You don't need an iPhone, in fact, as long as you don't want to test it. You can borrow anyone else's phone, and you can plug that, and you can test that. Okay, and if you see something like this, I intentionally not add that out. If you see something like this, can't preview in this file, that is because you need to refresh that sometimes, and sometimes you need to actually plug your phone to it. Yeah, sorry about this. It's called device. Let me just change that to yeah, just maybe this one. Okay. I think there's just I'm using the beta 2 version of it, and let me just delete the 14th plus simulation, and yeah, don't worry, if you have to test that, you just plug your phone and can do the simulation for you. Okay, and yeah, and sometimes you might think that it's stuck, or maybe you think that it's not running, and the tip here is to look at right here. You got a pretty small font here preparing something, yeah, and when it's ready, it's just finished, and you can look at here. Once it's sort of spinning, this is loading, so you have to wait a little bit. My recommendation is that to make it a little bit smaller, and make the whole space for that just as big as the preview, and you can get more space for your code, because that is the main background that we will spend most of our time to it. So as the end of this video, we are going to change that a little bit. So what I'm going to do is to, hello world, right? I'm going to change that to say, hey, this is our first app. Okay, so as you change that, you can see at the right side we got, hey, this is our first app. Let me just make it bigger so you guys can see that. This is our first app. Brilliant. Okay, and of course you can actually run that using the simulator. Let me demonstrate that for you. So if you look at this places, you got my first app, and then iPhone 15 Pro, something like that. You can click it, you can see all the sort of a destination that you're going to run. Okay, so we're going to choose iOS simulations, the latest version, that's maybe the Pro Max, something like that. Okay, you choose that, and then you click this run button, and it will just generate that simulation for you. If it's the first time that you open it, you might spend a little bit of time, because you're going to install this project into the simulation, and it will initialize the simulation of the firm. Don't worry if you think you're stuck. You just look at here. You can know the process to sort of announce what kind of step they are. They're installing my first app to iPhone 15 Pro Max, so it's installing. Okay, you don't need to worry about that. I'm going to pause the video a little bit, because the first time you run it, it will spend a little bit of time. It will take you maybe 3 minutes to do that. Alright, after, I think it's not nearly 1 minute, just a few seconds to wait, you will see a pop-up window, and this is just a perfect simulation for an iPhone, whatever version, whatever aspect of that app iPhone is. And you can see the system is running is currently iOS 17. I'm using a beta version, so if you watch this video and you are installing the latest version, is not beta, but actually the developer friendly version. You might see something different, but I'm trying my best to get this tutorial up to date. So, hey, this is our first app, and it runs perfectly, just the same. So, that is the reason why I use the preview a lot rather than just to run that. Especially if you run some simple project, just a simple page. This is much faster without actually run the simulation. And it's really hassle to wait everything to load it up. Okay, and but the great thing about the simulation is that you can actually use it as if this is your phone. Okay, so and click it, drag it, you can adjust all these settings. Okay, and you can just swipe it, you can close it, and this is really convenient. But if you look at here, you can't possibly just swipe it and exit that. You can only see the page. And for example, if you develop something like a button to it, or some text field, you can interact with that, but you won't be able to just say send some messages and communicate with the backend, or fetch something from internet. Currently, at least up to now, you can't do that in the live preview. You can just see the layout, something simple logic. But if you want to test more complex functionality, it's recommended that you use the simulation. Okay, so yeah, I think it's already pretty long. It's just the intro. We will talk about more complex, I promised, projects, and some real life projects, real life developing hacks that I'm gonna share with you guys. And thank all of you if you're still watching. I know it's a pretty long tutorial, and by the way, don't forget, I really need it. It's for you to subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumb up if you want to see more videos, and if you want to see a specific sort of an app that you want me to share with you guys. You can leave in the comment section below. I will read every comment and apply to every comment. It's a lot of you guys ask specific kind of project. I will make a serious video totally for free for you guys, and I will see you at next video. Bye.